And there are some people that always have like a sweet innocence of childhood about them. You know, they don't require any meditation, they don't require anything. They are always excited about life. And there are some people that part of the day goes where they have this childish innocence, and then part of the day they get dragged down into their classical conditioning. Children, you notice, they're always looking around for something new, trying to discover their environment, playing with something. I mean, when I was cooking in the kitchen, I remember my daughter would come and play with little, katoris and banging. She loved that more than any toy. Made so much noise. And then when the pressure cooker went off, she would rush out and then peek in to see if everything was okay. The innocence about discovering new things in life. And we tend to lose this. We become the kind of person, oh, I know everything. Everything is, I know how it's all going to turn out. It's all for nothing. And I say it sometimes too, anyway, we're all going to die, right? But even though I say that, anyway, we're all going to die, it's said in another context. It's said so that you don't feel that overpowering importance of what you're doing, right? And you don't get that stress of not living up to your own expectations of yourself. But to live each day with the innocence of a child is precious. It's precious. Every day brings something different. And I used to find that about my mom, that at age 72, 73, she started taking classes, computer classes to learn. She started learning how to do emails and Facebook and, to be able to talk to us on Skype. Just learning things at an older age. When I went to teach the course when I did a book reading on my books, there was a man who was 99 years old. He walked in without a cane. He attends every class that is held there, continuously wanting to learn, to do something different, to do something new. And I remember when I did an Art of Living course in Pittsburgh, and there was this guy called Bob who did the course every time. And he'd forget why he was there. It's kind of like Biden. He'd forget why he's there. Bob, you're supposed to be in silence now. And he'd start talking. He says, oh, am I supposed to be in silence? But I thought it was so sweet that this man at such an age, he must have been well into his 80s, wants to do a meditation course, wants to learn something different, wants to be somewhere else. It's like that. There's a flower that we used to have in our garden when I was growing up called the morning glory. And every time the sun came up in the morning, it would open up. It was a purple colored flower. And when the sun went down, it would close. Kind of reminds me of how my day goes. If I listen to my first thought, I'm not going to get out of bed. I'm going to just cover myself and go to sleep, because doing that saves me from all the problems in the day. But I don't. I get up, and before I do anything else, I do my breathing and I do my meditation. And by doing that, something changes. Something changes. Because unlike most people, for me, the natural tendency is one of depression. One of believing that things are not going good. Would you believe that? Right? You'd never believe it, right? Yeah, but that's my natural mood. The first thought that comes up whenever I'm faced with something is that this is not going to work. This is not going to work. But I have become aware of that. And as soon as that thought comes up, I am like, happiness is my birthright. And that's how it even came up. Because I was saying it to myself. That's how it became a Hamsa meditation motto. Because if it works for me, maybe it will work for all of you too. When I tell myself happiness is my birthright, first thing I'm doing is I'm getting rid of all that jaded, faded, conditioned, useless thought, throwing it. And when you do that, you're again looking at the world through the eyes of a child. What can happen today? Today is the day. What exciting thing is going to happen today? Yes. Circumstances and of course your ego. Your ego is your biggest thing. They tell you that everything is not good. Everything is not good. Nobody wants to take your class. No? Nobody wants to come for this. Nobody wants to meditate. But is that a problem with me or with them? I'm meditating. I'm happy. My immunity is up. Is theirs? Yes, they saved $100. But are they going to be fine? I hope they will. The loss is theirs if they don't learn how to breathe. If they don't learn how to meditate. I'm here to help in any way. But if there is a blockage, I'm not going to say it's my fault. My ego is telling me that, oh, this is not working out for you. But I always say, happiness is my birthright. I continue to do what I do. And then, if it is in my destiny or if it is in someone else's destiny to sit before me or not sit before me, I'm not in charge of that. I keep doing what I do with freshness every day, with the same amount of interest and the same amount of energy. That is important. The important thing is not to get bogged down by what your mind and your ego, especially your ego, is telling you. It's always trying to bring you down. And I do many things. I do the books, I do the creams, I do many things. And always there's the ego that's saying, you're never going to make it. Your books don't sell so well. Look at that person, instant success. Right? You always have things. Life is throwing you things all the time, that make you exhausted, that make you tired, that make you jaded, that make you think, it's never going to work anyway. And with this election process, I was thinking, if they had anyway picked a candidate, if the Democratic Convention had picked a candidate, why make us go through this convoluted process of having debates and talks and all this nonsense? But at the same time, I have to commit myself to voting. I have to commit myself to voting. I cannot let it bring me down because I am important. Everything I do is important. This is my life. And I approach this life saying that my vote counts. My talks count. My cooking counts. The way I raise my children counts. My kind words count. My happy disposition counts. The smile on my face counts. And that's how you get rid of that mentality that Anyway, what difference does anything make? Nothing I do matters. I'm just going through the motions of life. If that is the case, then please go and hold hands and cuddle with the next coronavirus patient. End this misery once and for all. Why keep going? End it all. But if you're living till the last day, each day that the sun rises and that there's sunshine in your life, feel that gratitude and do whatever you can to smile, to spread happiness, to spread cheer wherever you go. To just, and don't worry that you're not doing important things, because nobody is doing anything important. You think the president is doing something important? No. Who remembers what anybody said or did? We're all here, and I'm sorry to say this again, we're all going to go very quickly, whether it's one way or another. But in the meantime, as long as we're here, we have a duty to ourselves, because we took birth, to be happy and to keep smiling and to keep going. This is important. This is important. To face each day with the freshness and curiosity of a little child. To continually reinvent yourself. To do different things all the time. Try something new. A new recipe, a new dish, a new route to school or to work, wherever you go. A new way of doing things in your life. Refresh your life every time, every few months. Try something different. And that keeps your energy about life good. Life is good as long as you're moving in some direction. As long as you're happy, it's all good. So, don't worry. Don't worry. And I'm telling myself this too. It's all good.